Meanwhile, tensions are not just escalating in Haiti, they're also rising in West Africa. The Pentagon is working with Niger officials to find a way for the U.S. troops to stay in the country, following a weekend directive that orders the American troops to leave a key base for the U.S. for counterterrorism operations in sub-Sahara Africa. Before dwelling into the details there, let's first look at where Niger is located. Niger is located at the heart of the Sahel region, an area where terror groups like the ISIS, the Al-Qaeda are rapidly expanding. In the pretext of fighting terror, last week, a high-level delegation of U.S. officials traveled to Niger to meet with the members of the military junta. According to Pentagon's Deputy Press Secretary, the U.S. officials had a lengthy and direct discussion with the junta officials. The discussions were also in part spurred by concerns over Niger's potential ties with Russia and Iran. It remains unclear what prompted the junta's decision to suspend military ties with America. But following the meeting between the American officials and the junta members, the junta spokesperson said U.S. flights over Niger's territory in recent weeks were illegal. Take a listen.
For several weeks, the Nigerian government has noted illegal activities involving flights over its territory by American aircraft, which are likely to raise questions about the sincerity of their partnership and the relevance of maintaining the military cooperation agreement imposed by a note verbale. In view of all of the above, the government of Niger, taking into account the aspirations and interests of its people, decides with all responsibility to denounce with immediate effect the agreement of relating to the status of United States military personnel and civilian employees of the United States Department of Defense in the territories of the Republic of Niger.
Meanwhile, a local activist who has helped Niger's military rulers with their communications criticized the U.S. efforts to force the junta to pick between the strategic partners. The military junta has largely been in control in Niger since July, when mutinous soldiers ousted the country's democratically elected president, Mohamed Bazoum. Since then, Niger's military junta has triggered a major crisis in the West African nation. Months after taking control of the country, Niger has ended its security partnership with the European Union, and France has withdrawn its troops from the country. And now, the junta has asked the American troops to vacate the country. Now, the agreement, which ends with immediate effect, allowed U.S. military staff to operate from a $110 million drone base. The country plays a central role in the U.S. military's operations in Africa's Sahel region. Well, according to the Pentagon, the U.S. military still had some 650 troops working in Niger in December, largely consolidated at a base farther away from Niger's capital. Meanwhile, the total number of personnel still in the country, including civilians and contractors, is roughly at around 1,000.